must confront the multi-billion-dollar elephant in the room. A multi-billion-dollar elephant in the room. Big tech corporations. For too long, the public narrative blamed human error or malicious independent actor for the spread of fake news. Today, we know the truth is far more damning. The major social media platforms and such conglomerates are not neutral pipes through which data passively travels. They are active curators governed by the proprietary algorithmic engineered for a single purpose, that is, maximize your engagement to sell the targeted advertisements. These systems are hardwired to capitalize on human psychology. They know that outrage, fear, division trigger the fastest shares and the longest screen times. Consequently, their system actively amplify highly sensationalized, fabricated stories while burying the non-seed verified journalism deep beneath the feed. This algorithmic bias towards actors who display sophisticated AI-generated deepfake, cloned audios, and out-of-context visuals to distort public reality for the financial or political gain. For big tech, a click generated by a toxic lie pays exactly the same as the click generated by a verified fact. Misinformation is fundamentally good for their bottom line. This is where the real journalist draws the battle line. While an online content creator or influencer bends to the algorithmic chase views, the real journalist aggressively fight against it. A true media professional refuses to sacrifice the integrity of verification of the headline rush of breaking news speed. When a highly viral, emotionally charged headline explodes across digital platforms, a real journalist pauses. They bypass the curated feeds, trace the digital metadata, questions the underlying corporate motives, and cross-examine the original source. Being a real journalist in 2026 demands immense moral courage. Being a real journalist in 2026 demands immense moral courage and an unyielding ethical compass. It requires us to demand strict algorithmic transparency, hold trillion-dollar tech platforms legally and socially accountable, and rebuild the collapse of the public trust. On this press day, let us recognize that our profession is no longer just about reporting the world as it is. It is about aggressively defending a shared, fact-based reality from being completely dismantled by the corporate greed. By prioritizing uncompromised truth over the automated engagement, we reclaim the true power of the truth for the fourth estate. This is a prepared speech I read out, but one or two things I would like to say. Now we are discussing about who is a real journalist. I say it is necessary today, but when we are discussing about the freedom of the press, where are we? In my view, just now, Honorable Chief Minister, a distinguished MLA, said, addressed us as the fourth estate. My point, I differ it now. No fourth estate in India. It is crumbling. It is crumbling. When our constitutional framers, after long length of discussions, decided to not to put the freedom of the press in the Constitution. Intentionally, they did not put it. Majority members have told in favor of to put in the Constitution the freedom of the press. But Baba Sahib Ambedkar said, it is above the all three pillars of the Constitution. If you put it in the Constitution, the three organs of the state may suppress this fourth estate. They can get the precedence over the fourth estate. To make the fourth estate, it should be free. It should work on behalf of the people to strengthen the democracy. That's why the first Parliament of India in 1951, the first Prime Minister appointed a first commission under the Commission of Inquiry Act, a first press commission under Supreme Court Judge Justice Raja Deksha. Several eminent people were there. Academicians were there. Journalists were there. Editors were there in the committee, 11-member committee. Ultimately, the New India, after the independence, brought a Working Journalists Act to protect the working journalists, to protect the freedom of the press. The first press commission recommendation, one of the recommendations is to constitute the Press Council of India. Another recommendation was Register of Newspapers of India. Where are they now? Independent India, first enactment to protect the freedom of the press, to protect the working journalists. That was the present government is an archaic act, outdated act. In independent India, now journalists have no protection at all. Earlier, one book is there, one enactment is there. The government of India removed it, made it in one of the definition, no privilege, no separate thing. The journalists are equally a shopkeeper, equally a medical representative, equally not government employee, not public sector employee. They have some privileges. But now the journalists have no privilege. You can't claim that I'm a journalist with raising the arm. You are ordinary citizen, less than a citizen in some times. That act has been removed. A definition has been included, that's all, nothing more, nothing less. In one of the code, a definition has included expanding electronic media, radio, digital media. But so far, it is shameful to say the so-called fourth pillar, the so-called journalists, print journalists have some wage structure. Even after 3 decades of emergence of the electronic media, no salary structure. No salary structure. In print media, there is some structure is there. According to the revenue of the newspaper, they will get the salary. Wage boards are there. For electronic media, lesser than the shops and employees working in the country. On the whims and fancies of the managements, they have to live. A videographer, ask your videographer how much they are getting. A topmost people getting lakhs of rupees. Middle and lower class. Just whims and fancies of the managements. This print media has 9 types of wages, which is having the Times of India, Hindustan Times having more than 2,000 crores, 2,500 crores, a minimum of 1 crore. 9 structures are there. But electronic media, even after removing the act of the working journalists, and everybody last 10, 15, 20 years, every organization, working journalist organizations, praying, demanding, appealing, Government of India to make the Press Council of India as a media council. Parliamentary committees have recommended, but none. Now media council is, no media council. Press council is a now truncated press council. First, they constituted without working journalists and editors of the 15th term of the Press Council of India. It's a systemic suppression of the freedom of press, systemic suppression of the working journalists in this country. That is the thing I would like to place before you. Think of. No more fourth pillar. No more fourth estate. It's crumbling. It's crumbling. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.